Oh,
high
yes.
school hockey.
We have to approve the hockey trip. Everybody has a copy at their desk?
Yeah.
This is the annual varsity boys hockey team that goes down and plays in the tournament at Martha's Vineyard. Scheduled to play the first game on Saturday, the 13th. So because it's an overnight trip, we need to take a vote.
And we do normally get this a lot further in advance, but I think there was some miscommunication because we do have a new hockey coach this year, and he
that's
thought
what
that
I
the
wondered.
thought the athletic director was going to be
do it, and the athletic
submitting this.
director was
Right.
the coach was going to do it.
Usually we get this in like at the start of the
Right.
school year, and
Right.
I think we've been doing this for how many years? 11, 12, it's a long time,
Yeah,
haven't we?
That's fine.
Yeah. Actually, when Jerry's boys went to school.
So I'll make a motion, we approve the hockey team trip to Martha's Vineyard for next weekend.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
These two.
No.
No, oh, I'm
Oh.
sorry, no, one opposition, sorry. Moving right
Trip.
on. Did you want to make a comment about overnight trips?
No, I just think that, it's an expensive operation. I'm trying to be frugal.
There are two other requests. There's one for the senior trip and one for it's a ski trip request.
Oh, yeah, and then we also have a policy, right?
Yeah, we have a policy that
So here's a ski trip,
we'd like to do the first reading of.
here's the policy, here's the senior class.
Okay, where do you want to go with first, Dr. Campbell?
Let's go with the senior class trip. You have a memo in the packet from Ms. Diazzi and Mr. Doucette. They would like permission to take members of the senior class whitewater rafting in Maine. I've spoken to Mr. Bernard about the trip, and he certainly is in favor of it. In the packet, you'll have attached right behind the memo is the safety inspection of the bus company that would take the kids up and back. They go up on Saturday and come back on Sunday.
I think this is essentially the same thing they did last year.
Yes, I believe you're right.
Now, I just have a question about participation from last year. Were there students that did not go because of financial reasons, and if so, how many?
I don't have any ideas.
I know that it was not I don't think they got more than 50% of the class to go last year, but I don't think it was
It wasn't
financial, it was because kids didn't want to go whitewater rafting.
And if you play spring sports?
Right, you can't,
You can't go.
a lot of kids can't go because,
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
but I didn't hear anything back on any financial aspect.
So it's not like all but one or two don't go and feel
Right.
left out.
I think
So
like
that's
last year,
one.
something like 60 or 65 or 70 went, something like that number.
And there were no safety issues reported from last year's trip?
Nope.
No.
I would just caution that they pay attention to the number of chaperones. We have a policy that outlines so many chaperones
I think it's
per
1 for
student.
10 is required.
Yeah,
right?
they say they have 10 chaperones for 90 kids, but if more kids participate, they will need
More
to get
chaperones.
more.
And what is our liability if something happens to a student?
I'll tell you, we're covered.
We're covered, right, Carl?
We're covered?
I'm sorry.
The
Liability?
liability, we're all covered, right?
What is the liability if something happens to
On
a
this,
student?
like the
this trip?
whitewater rafting trip for the senior class.
All right,
Because it's
does
school
insurance cover it?
sanctioned.
As it is school sanctioned, it is the town of North Reading's responsibility.
Thank you.
I'm just really curious about this fundraiser.
That's different words than we're covered.
Well, I know, I was a little vague.
Responsibility.
What I can, the town of North Reading executes a liability insurance policy that is managed by a private insurer. And when there are claims against that policy, that claim is between the bringer of the claim and the insurer. I know I'm sounding a little squishy here, but can the school committee or the administration guarantee coverage? No, it is an insurance company.
It's the insurance company.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
we are covered.
We're covered by insurance, right.
Yes.
Do you have a motion?
I just want to remind people, this is also a little bit late. We normally have the seniors coming in a lot earlier to request a trip, and
It
this,
was Disney, and they had
well, a
to
couple of
pay us.
years ago, it was Disney.
I would
And,
approve that in a heartbeat.
well, but here's why we didn't approve it, because we told the senior class a couple of years ago that you're not gonna get the support of the committee next year. At that time, they weren't gonna get the support of the committee members, because the trip was starting to cost something like $800–900.
For 4 days.
And that was getting down to like 60 or 70 kids going, and there were many kids going because they couldn't afford that,
Yeah.
many. And even though it was a good trip, it was just
That's a way.
way too much
Yeah,
money.
this trip is
So,
under
this is the
200.
same thing they did last year. I urge future senior classes, I think this is a fine trip, but to think outside the box a little bit, think about some other things you might want to do that, I know you don't want to hear the word educational, but things that maybe are a little more educational. Think about it anyway.
Although, having to work together as a group.
That's true.
In a whitewater rafting, I think there is something
Yeah,
to
it's good.
this, better than Disney. All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the senior class trip to Maine for whitewater rafting.
Do we have a second? I can't, so I would. All right.
I want Jerry here for this one.
Okay, let's table this one as well, Dr. Bianco.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have time, it's okay.
We have time,
Yeah.
all right. Oh, boy, these trips might not be, all right, the next one, the proposed ski trip for North Reading High School. This is part of the Adventure Club.
Yes, this is the, remember you approved the Adventure Club a couple months ago. This is their first outing, if you will, and they would leave North Reading to go up to Loon Mountain on the 28th, which is a Sunday. Up and back the same day, $59 for a team lift ticket, round trip bus. Fairly straightforward. I will admit I have not been to the Ski 93 website, but having done this in other districts, I'm sure that they're about the same as everybody else. And I did speak with Mr. Bernard about it before I put it on the agenda, and he has looked into it and thinks it would be a good trip.
And Carl, the liability issue is the same here, correct?
Yes, it is.
You answered for the whitewater.
Yes, it
These kids have joined the Adventure Club, were notified that there would be additional expenses.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I know Cliff's not gonna make it.
This is totally unfair.
I'll move to approve the proposed ski trip for the North Reading High School Adventure Club on February 28th to Loon Mountain in New Hampshire.
I will second this one.
Okay, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Wow,
All right.
want to reconsider a senior trip? No.
Not at all. And for me, that's an educational value
This is a
question,
little-
as opposed to
I see.
safety.
different.
Yeah,
This is-
oh, yes,
This
Yes,
is what
it's a
they
club.
signed up for.
signed up for.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
I
this
agree.
is a specific reason for this.
Okay,
The next thing we have under new business is policy regarding motor vehicle idling on school grounds. The recent piece of legislation has been enacted that prohibits motor vehicles to idle their engines unnecessarily while on school grounds. There are lists of exceptions to this. But one of the things that the law requires is that each school committee adopt a policy. So the policy was developed actually by Mr. Bowers and is being submitted to the school committee as a draft for the first reading.
okay. I'll read the policy. File EEAJ, policy regarding motor vehicle idling on school grounds. No motor vehicle operator shall cause or allow any motor vehicle operated by him or her on school grounds to idle unnecessarily except for any of the following reasons. Traffic conditions, queuing at a school for the purpose of picking up or discharging students, turbocharged diesel engine cool down or warm up, maintenance of appropriate temperature of the school buses when accepting or discharging passengers not to exceed 3 minutes in any 15-minute period or 1 minute in any 15-minute period for other motor vehicles. For circumstances involving safety or emergencies, for servicing or repairing motor vehicles, and as these exceptions are more completely described in the below referenced regulations. The term school ground shall mean in, on, or within 100 feet of the real property of the school, whether or not it is in session, and shall include any athletic field or facility and any playground used for school purposes or functions which is owned by the town or school district, regardless of the proximity to a school building, as well as any parking lot appurtenant to such athletic field, facility, or playground. Reasonable effort shall be made by the district to identify by signage all known and actual air intake systems which may be within 100 feet of an idling motor vehicle. A motor vehicle operator shall not idle a motor within 100 feet of such air intake system unless the district has determined that alternative locations block traffic, impair student safety, or are not cost effective. The district shall erect and maintain a conspicuous location on school grounds, no idling signage as described below. All such signage shall contain appropriate sized font so as to be visible from a distance of 50 feet. And the sign shall read, no idling, penalties of $100 for first offense and $500 for second and subsequent offenses. Noted Mass General Law, Chapter 90, 16B, and 540, CMR 27.00. It shall be the responsibility of the school administration to ensure